Hi guys, so welcome back to another training video. This one's a little bit different because it's more about basic groundwork rather than ridden exercises or training in that aspect. So we wanted to start with just simple leading. So you can see I've got a short jumping whip in my one hand and I'm just using a normal lead rope with a head collar. And the idea is every time I ask her to walk on, I'll give her a little tap with the whip, and every time I say stop, give a quick tug on the rope, ask her to stop. So see there, she went quite ahead of me, so I just asked her to back up a step so that she's in line, and then praise her for that. So this is all just simple, good manners kind of thing. So I also ask her to trot with me. And again, if you want to do showing in hand, it's important that you've got your leading done properly. So to just start off the day, we started with nice exercises and voice commands. You can see she's a little bit rusty, but it's good enough. Then to change it up a little bit so she didn't get too bored, we started doing some weaving in and out of cones. So to start with, again, got the rope quite short, but I tried to keep it as loose as possible. And then I'm trying to shift my body language, but when she gets ahead of me, I use the whip to just guide her nose. And I'm trying to get her to follow me rather than following the tugging of the lead, or the lead rope, sorry. So it can be quite boring, I guess, but it's really worth practicing to make sure your horse is actually listening to you, paying attention and not just barging. So we're doing the loop in, out, back round and through them before we stop. And you can see she's not listening properly, so I gave her 2 quick tugs to tell her to pay attention. And then again, I'm having to use the whip because she's rushing a little bit and it takes me longer to walk on the outside. And she's following a little bit better this way. And also don't be too worried about giving them a little tap on the nose. So I'm not saying hitting them, I mean literally a tap to get them to focus in the right direction. So again, we keep doing it, and this time, instead of me going through the cones, I'm asking her to listen properly to what I'm asking. So she knows she's supposed to weave in and out of them. Now it's a case of will she do it? And you can see the one way she did it nicely, but this way she wanted to just rush and do her own thing. And she wouldn't go back through it, so instead of stopping the exercise, we'll go back round and make her do it. And you can see with the lead rope it's pretty loose, and although this way was a little bit worse, the idea is that it's not relying on tension. And every time we finish a route, I try and leave her in the same position, right? So we don't just stop and leave her standing there, but I want it to line up nicely. So in this instance, I'm trying to use the whip to guide her, as well as voice commands, so that she pays attention to watching it. But you can see every time here is when she rushes and she doesn't want to spin around. So that's, by doing something like this, you can see where the issues are and you can iron them out. It's also totally fine if things take you longer and you need to spend more time on something. There's no rush, and the brilliant thing about exercises like this is the horse doesn't get too warm. There's no stress. You can repeat it as many times as you need to. what's easy to happen when you focus on one thing too much, which, as you've seen, if you've seen our other videos with riding, is that you focus solely on something simple like getting her confident with the saddle. But then what that means is you let go of other issues. So we don't really work on leading. And the weather was so warm that we were actually really lucky to have an opportunity just to chill out and practice a basic skill. The only danger with this is that it's not that interesting for them. So you got to find ways to change it up a little bit, or... I mean, this is something that's used in horse agility, and they should technically be able to do it. So here what I did, I put the rope around her neck in an attempt to kind of trick her that I haven't taken it off. And I'm getting her to follow me. And you see, she did perfectly. But then she realised I couldn't actually control her. This is why I didn't take the lead rope off, because she has that tendency of just running off when she realises actually I can't stop her. This is where in natural horsemanship a lot of people do join up and stuff like that, because then your horse naturally follows you. We don't have a round pen. It's not something that I've really tried properly with her. But I'm happy to attempt to get her to listen. And see, she kind of messed up there, but I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. So we go again. And she's trying quite hard, actually. She's being good. To a point. Until, again, she decided she wasn't interested at all. And she just left. As I said, it was pretty hot anyway, so I understand why she wasn't interested, but try again, keep going. So instead of continuing with the same thing, which would keep going wrong, you go back a step and you say, okay, let's do it with leading. So I've still left the rope over her neck, but this time I am guiding her. And then this time I was trying to get her to naturally follow me, but she stopped. It's difficult because horses are smart animals, so you really have to get them to want to do something. And clearly she didn't want to do it. Which is fine. Like, my issue is that I laugh and I genuinely find it funny, and then she thinks it's okay to do that. But there's no point getting stressed about it. This is why we spend time training with them. Because you want to be able to iron out these issues. So this time, because it went wrong again, I decided to go back and hold on to the lead rope properly. Because I think the issue is that by holding on to it so close to her actual head collar last time, she knew the moment that I let go. Whereas here, the plan is you have a real loose rope, she's having to follow you rather than you pulling her around. And this is when I tried a more assertive walk as well. It also helps with suppleness. So that's it, you always want to make sure you leave it on a good note. And that's what we're doing, we're going through the cones in a nice and relaxed way. And then it's perfect. So I believe this is the last one where she is loose. And again, I wanted it to be on that good note. So again, I'm trying the same assertive walk. And you can see she's following. And then you leave it there. And you see, replicated perfectly, but without the need for a lead rope. So I hope you enjoy this anyway. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.